So I was asked today if I was going to blog my journey for my weight loss surgery and all of the steps leading up to the surgery. And I thought it was a good idea. But I'm not much of a typer and I don't really know how to do this. So I asked my daughter, Macy, how do you vlog? And she said, you just take videos of yourself and you post them. So this is going to be the first video in my vlogging series about my weight loss journey and my journey to surgery. So today was the first day that I had to start the pre-surgery diet. And so I have here the envelope that has all of the things that I have to do. So 14 days prior to surgery, I had to start this plan. My surgery is on January 10th, and so today was the first day. For breakfast, I have to drink 8 to 12 ounces of protein shake that contains 20 to 30 grams of protein. I've chosen muscle milk because that was one of the recommended protein shakes that I could use. Also, in addition to that, at breakfast, I'm allowed to have 1/2 a cup of fresh or canned fruit, but it had to be in water or in juice and could not be in syrup. And I could also have either a 1/2 cup of unsweetened cream of wheat, oatmeals, grits, or cream of rice, which none of the above sounded good to me because you couldn't do anything to doctor it. Or a whole wheat toast with a small amount of margarine, which is what I opted for this morning and will be what I opt for every morning. For lunch, I have to have another protein shake. I can also have the fruit again, 1/2 a cup of fruit. But in addition to that, I can have 1 to 2 cups of vegetable soup, either following a recipe that they've given me or a cup of Progresso garden vegetable, which is what I opted for because I'm not much of a soup cook. I don't do well with that. And I can also have 1/2 cup of sugar-free pudding, which is just like your pudding cups that you can buy in the store. So I chose vanilla because I had been drinking chocolate protein shakes, but I think the vanilla didn't taste so good while I was drinking the chocolate shakes. It was weird. For dinner, I'm allowed to have another protein shake, a 1/2 a cup of fruit again. This time I can have salad or 1 1/2 to 1 cup steamed vegetables as long as it's not potatoes, corn, peas, or lima beans. If I choose to have the salad, I can't add anything to it. It can just be the greens and vegetables only. But only 1 to 2 tablespoons of, or not tablespoons, excuse me, teaspoons of fat or fat-free or light dressing, which I opted for the salad today. And I used balsamic vinaigrette dressing, light balsamic vinaigrette dressing. During these entire 14 days, I can also drink any calorie-free decaffeinated beverages, such as water, Crystal Light products. I can have sugar-free Jell-O, sugar-free popsicles, G2, Powerade Zero, decaf black coffee or tea, and chicken and beef or vegetable broth. I cannot drink any alcohol or carbonated drinks, I had been pretty much cutting soda out of my diet prior to this, leading into my pre-surgery weight. I had lost 87 pounds from when I was in the hospital back in May. I think at some point I'll vlog my weight, but I'm just not quite ready to do that yet. I know once I've lost some weight from surgery, I'll be happy to say where I'm at and where I'd been. But I think I'm not quite brave enough to put that on a public forum yet. So you'll have to hold tight for that. But I will say I've lost 87 pounds since my congestive heart failure in May, which is what has prompted me to go through this journey. I have gained my life back. Kind of wish I had been vlogging all along back in May When I left the hospital, I was on oxygen and was dependent and could not, barely get around at all. And a lot has changed for me. As a matter of fact, just recently I went to the Cincinnati Zoo for the Festival of Lights, and we had to park about a half mile away from the zoo. And then, of course, we did all the walking around the zoo. That would have never been something I would have been able to do back in May. It just wouldn't have been possible. My boyfriend is a UC fan and has taken me to a couple UC Bearcat basketball games. And again, it's quite a bit of walk and a lot of steps, and it just wouldn't have been something I would have been able to do back in May. So I'm proud of where I've been, where I've come from, and where I am so far, but I'm excited for this next leg of this journey. I'd be lying if I didn't say I was a little nervous. As far as today goes and how I felt, I guess back in the beginning days when I started the journey for the surgery, which was a 6-month process, I knew that there was going to be a day that came that I would basically have to change the way I eat altogether for the rest of my life. And I had been doing really well with cutting back and watching calorie intake and trying to watch carbs and, low calories, low sugar, low carbs, and stuff like that. So I'd already cut so much out of my diet. But I still never felt like I couldn't if I didn't want to. And as a matter of fact, all along I had maintained that it probably would not be wise for me to make myself feel deprived, because in the past I had not been so successful if I deprived myself of things, and sometimes became even obsessive about it. So this time I just kind of said I was going to take a healthier approach and make it more of a lifestyle change and something that I could do forever. Now, having said that, doing this kind of thing that I have to do right now pre-surgery is not something that a person could do forever. First of all, I'll just tell you, I don't like the protein shakes, and I've tried several brands, and I don't like them. I think they taste terrible. I tried, I think if I chug, it makes it a little easier to go down. I've been blending them with ice. A lot of people have made some suggestions on Facebook about, like how to make it taste better. But right now I'm not even allowed to do that because I have to stay within this diet and these guidelines. So for now, I just have to stomach it, and I just have to deal with it. And I've gone too far in this journey to turn back now and to not follow instructions now. So having said that, I did have a little bit of a breakdown today. Cried a little bit because I didn't realize the grieving process, and it's been rough. A lot of people had told me when I went to groups and talked to other people who have had surgery. A lot of people talk about having quote-unquote food funerals, which I had said all along I wasn't going to do until I finally got a date. And when they called me with a date, I was like, okay, no, I do. I want a food funeral. I want that last supper, that last meal before, it all ends. And as a matter of fact, tried to plan it with my friends. We weren't able to get it together because my surgery came a little quicker than what I anticipated, which is fine because I could have chosen to push my surgery date back, but I didn't want to. I'm ready for this journey. And I feel like the closer it is to the beginning of this year, the better I'll feel about it. It's not necessarily a New Year's resolution, but I have kind of felt like this is my year. I graduate from college in December, which has been a long time in the making, and it's been a long road and a hard road, and I've made it so much harder on myself than it had to be, but it's finally coming. There's an end to this, and I kind of felt like along with graduating from college, if I take this journey and a year from now a much healthier, much smaller version of myself, that this is my year, and I'm not too old. It's never too late, and I'm not too old to change my life around and to make it worth it. I've had a lot of support, and I appreciate that more than I can even express in words. I've chosen to be public about this because I've always had a lot of support, especially on Facebook, from people when things have gone wrong or when things have gone right. People rejoice with me and they pray for me and they, give me a shoulder to lean on and give me words of encouragement. So that's mainly why I'm choosing to be public about this and to now even have a vlog so people can watch and along with me and comment and make suggestions and words of encouragement and maybe even pick me up when I'm down. Again, I was starting to go into the grieving process, but I guess I didn't realize how much I would grieve the loss of food. And it's been a weird several days. I've had amazing family and friends and totally amazing boyfriend who have all gone out of their way to, help make these last few days enjoyable and for me to have some of the things that I'm not definitely going to be able to have for the next weeks coming, but probably never really again because these kinds of foods don't sit well in your stomach after this kind of surgery. So I didn't go crazy. As a matter of fact, I was very surprised because I did kind of eat what I wanted since I've had my date. I haven't gone off the deep end though, but I was afraid to step on the scale. It's usually my morning routine to get on the scale just to kind of keep it in check, mainly because it was something that I was told I had to do back in May because of the congestive heart failure and just make sure I don't have any fluid retention and make sure that I'm not congesting again. But I've been doing it also just on this journey just to keep myself in check, just to make sure, that I don't fall back and backslide because that's not what I want to do. I want forward progress only. So it's a little hard for me to actually decide that it was okay for me to have these last few days of quote unquote food funerals and alcohol funerals. But I did it, and I was pleasantly surprised this morning. I stepped on the scale for the first time since I had made the decision to allow myself these few days of what I wanted, and actually I'd lost 0.8 pounds. Not a big loss, but it definitely beats a gain, which is what I was expecting from the scale. So it was nice to see that. And now I'm pretty sure that in the next couple weeks leading up to surgery, I'll probably have a little bit of a weight loss, considering the diet that I have to follow, and especially after I've given my system quite the shock, which, by the way, my stomach revolted from all those kinds of foods because it was not quite used to having those kinds of food, and my stomach kind of got a little upset with me. And let's just say I had some retribution for those bad foods that I ate. Just to say, my final meal was Skyline. That's been one of my all-time favorites forever. And I'm a huge Skyline fan. And so for the last time, I in my last meal prior to this diet, I enjoyed a 3-way and a cheese coney, which was more food than I had eaten in so long. Not that I couldn't at one time put away that kind of food, but I really kind of had to stuff my belly full last night. But it was good, and I don't regret doing it. It was, it was what it was. I had a long day today. Maybe if I had thought about that, maybe it wasn't such a good idea, because coming off of eating whatever you want for 3 or 4 days, it kind of makes it difficult to go into complete shock and not have that much, or especially not that much that tastes good. But I'm confident that I'm going to do well because I am determined, and I feel like anytime I have set my mind to something, I have not failed myself. So I'm going to set my mind to this, and hopefully as I vlog and continue through this process, you will see me change and maybe even see my face get a little thinner as I talk, which is one of the main things that I can't wait to see, because for some reason that's one of the things I dislike about myself the most, is when my face is heavy. So, well, anyway, thanks for watching, and thanks for supporting me, and hopefully you'll come back for my next one.